Hi, I'm Anthony with the Gwinnett County Public Library, and today we are going to talk about communication. Communication requires at least two people, one to speak and one to listen. But how do you navigate the interaction where one individual is hard of hearing? With 15% of all Americans suffering from some form of hearing loss, communicating with someone who is hard of hearing is inevitable. So, how would you know if you are communicating with someone who is hard of hearing? The thing is, if you are interacting with someone for the very first time, you won't be able to. While there are clues you can pick up on over time as you are communicating, hearing loss is a hidden disability. There aren't any visual cues to make you aware. Best practice good communication with everyone you meet to maximize clarity and understanding. Before we look at tips that will aid in communication, be aware that the hard of hearing are likely aware of their own hearing loss. They will take their own steps in aiding in communication with others. They could be doing this by practicing active listening. Active listening is a practice in which individuals focus completely on the person who is speaking. This includes looking at the speaker, maintaining eye contact, and paying attention to nonverbal clues such as facial expressions and body language. They may nod or use short verbal affirmations to indicate they understand. They might summarize and repeat what was said to them, or ask follow-up questions to aid in clarity. When responding, they might need a few extra seconds to finish comprehending what was just said to them before formulating a response. The individual practicing active listening isn't formulating their response, they are listening. All while doing this, ignoring distractions. Someone who is hard of hearing can do their part to aid in communication by practicing active listening. But as someone who is speaking to someone who is hard of hearing, what can you do? Here are some steps you could take to aid in good communication. Get someone's attention by stating their name first. Don't just jump into a conversation. If you just start talking, the other person might think you are talking to someone else or to someone on the phone. By getting their attention, the person you are speaking with will be able to direct their focus completely on you and engage their own active listening skills. Avoid attempting a conversation from another room or with your back turned to the person you are speaking with. While the other person might hear a word or two or even understand what the gist of the conversation is about, being in another room creates a barrier that could impede communication and ultimately understanding. Avoid having a conversation while in motion or multitasking. These circumstances create distractions and hinders the ability of someone practicing active listening. Stop, find a place to chat, and make the person you are speaking with the focus of your conversation. Shouting as a means of compensation to communicate with someone who is hard of hearing does more harm than good. Shouting can distort the meaning and context of the conversation. To maximize understanding, it is okay to project your voice, but as you do so, speak clearly and calmly. It is easy for someone who is not hearing impaired to hear through background and extra noise in the room. It isn't the same for someone who is hearing impaired. Consider the location you are at. If there is a lot going on, wait to have a conversation or relocate to a quieter place. Be mindful of where someone who is hearing impaired is sitting. The head of the table isn't a good option. In social situations, allow the hearing impaired person to sit at the center of the group so they can hear everyone equally. Final tip, be patient. Every set of circumstances are unique and no one is perfect. Two people may be practicing good communication skills, yet something might be misheard. Look for facial expressions or other cues that indicate that something could have been missed. Be prepared to repeat or rephrase something to ensure that you are heard and the meaning is clear. I hope you found these tips helpful. A reminder, you will be unable to identify someone with hearing loss through sight alone. Practice these communication tips in order to ensure that everyone is heard and understood.